Hi, my name is Will Nunziata, New York City-based director and creator of theater, television, and film, and also a proud Phoenix Global Artist Ambassador. Today, I am thrilled to be speaking with the acclaimed singer, songwriter, producer, mix engineer. He does it all, Mr. Tatum Gale. For more on Tatum, you can read more about him right below this video. But in the meantime, here's a sneak peek at the skill set of Tatum's amazing producing and mix engineering.
Pink-eyed baby, I'm the one who made me the supperiest girl around. Slicker than Swayze, hotter than Hades, getting up and getting down. So you kiss me hard, make me come alive, make me feel like God is good. I will tell no lies, put on no disguise, show you what you got into. Baby, I'm sick. As in cool, as in ha ha ha, you drool, as in rod, as in tape, as in gotta stay in bed all night. I've got a fever that you gave me, and it's making me not act like a lady. It's true. Baby, I'm sick.
Well, hello, Tatum. How are you?
Hi, Will. I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing better. I'm speaking with you. Hello. And I'm so excited that the audience got to actually eavesdrop in on your talent as a producer and a mix engineer. Talk to me a little bit about what we just saw and listened to.
Yeah, so this song, so it's originally conceived as sort of this lo-fi sort of ode to mental unwellness that sort of eventually, this is like pre-pandemic, and eventually became a very much like a pandemic anthem for Laura and myself. We worked on it in quarantine, and it kind of ended up in the hyperpop realm. That's sort of like where it just happens to be in the end. And so then the video came out of that idea. Like we kind of wanted to do this very like distorted, saturated thing. And yeah, that's basically the, the 1-2 about it.
Well, I mean, it seems like you had your hand on the pulse of a country that would be obviously going into a time where people have been dealing with not only mental health, but I'm thinking about even so many of the celebrities that have come out to talk about mental health, and kind of, instead of the world maybe viewing it as a weakness, but reminding us that actually maybe talking about mental health is coming from a place of strength.
Yeah, and also I would say like the places that you go are what, when you're very, unstable, are worth exploring more and taking as like an opportunity for being creative, even as they are, very difficult, and for a lot of people somewhat, sad and can be devastating for some people. So yeah, for sure.
Well, I think what makes, the song obviously very relatable to people, because you obviously decided to, with your collaborator, go into the vulnerable, maybe some uncharted territories that might seem a little scary, but it's something that can be relatable to anyone, especially now.
Yeah, for sure. And the song itself, it's not exactly sentimental. So I think a lot of, like if you look at like, I would say, an obvious comparison would be Billie Eilish's music about being sad and being depressed. And a lot of that I think is more, I think it's almost easier to relate to because it's like an internal dialogue. This song is a little bit more in your face and kind of aggressively telling you how it's all going, which can be a little off-putting. So I think it's as well another angle on that kind of thing.
Well, I love it. I love how unapologetic you are. And I'm curious to know, Tatum, going back to the beginning, where did you grow up and when did you realize that you had an affinity for music?
Yeah, so I grew up in Portland, Maine, and I took piano lessons starting when I was really young, and kind of when I was in middle school, I started to get into jazz and sort of took it as my own thing a little bit more than just, lessons. And I kind of, was committed to music early on, but not in a career kind of way, till I was like maybe 20, 21, when I rediscovered GarageBand, because I had been really into GarageBand growing up, and then I forgot about it and came back to it in the form of, first GarageBand, but then Logic. So Logic Pro X is just GarageBand with a little bit more that you can work with. And so that was when I realized I was like, I could just do this. Like this could be what I do my whole life. And that was it. That was sort of, I was studying political science, and I finished the degree. But it was
And you went
clear that
after
that
your
was what I
bliss, my
wanted to
friend.
do.
And I feel like, like so many artists who are forced to kind of create their own stuff during pandemic, it seems like you were already investigating that way before the pandemic hit. And I love the fact that, again, in an industry that likes to peg people in one box, you just were like, F it, I love to do it all. And here you are doing it all.
Yeah, for sure. We're just kind of out here exploring, I think it was sort of like the last maybe 6 months I started to get, or year, I started to be into mixing. And then that's kind of even further more specific about it. But yeah, you can kind of open yourself up to all of the possibilities as a music artist.
Well, I
So
think it's also like more tools in your tool belt, so that when
mhm,
you're in the singer-songwriter hat, you already have been at 30,000 feet as a producer or mix engineer, and vice versa. So
mhm,
I think it's all great tools in the tool belt, no matter what.
it's absolutely true. Yeah.
And that's just me on my soapbox. God bless.
Yeah, God bless.
Tatum, looking forward, what are you most looking forward to in terms of any music you're working on now that you're ready to get out there, or what?
Yeah, so I have a album that I'm releasing under my own name, so Tatum Gale as an artist. Probably we won't start releasing singles until next year. It's kind of it's like finishing the production stage into the mix stage right now, taking it a little bit slow and making sure that everything happens deliberately. Laura and I are playing a show on October 16th, but possibly the 23rd. So
Whereabouts?
it's like a rooftop thing in Bushwick. I don't have the venue. It's like the like come to the show and then don't give any details about the show. When I say come to the show, that's what we're doing right now.
Well, listen, I want to let our audience know, you can read more about Mr. Tatum Gale and his collaborator, Laura. And by the way, right below this video, talk to me a little bit about your collaboration with Laura.
Yeah, so Laura Jin, her artist name, she's my life partner, who found her musical voice in the last few years, and similar to me, like took piano growing up and kind of realized at some point that you have to make music. That's just how it's got to go. And then she wrote all these songs. So she released an EP last year and we produced them together, and then I mixed them. And yeah, it's sort of like if you know Rina Sawayama, like it's kind of like in that direction. But she's got lots of stuff. I hate the phrase in the pipeline. She's got a lot of stuff in the pipeline too. So yeah, it's sort of a life collab thing.
It's amazing, Tatum. Well, listen, partners in life and music. I mean, who could ask for anything more? I could speak with you forever, Mr. Tatum Gale, but I'm so grateful for the time that you took today to speak with
Yeah,
me.
I'm really really happy to meet you, Will.
Thank you. And me too. Of you, not of me.